Hello and welcome back to ManVFilm. It's more announcements. This time it is 88 Films Quarter 1 announcements for titles from January all the way up to March. And yet again, they are just making some absolutely astounding announcements. I pretty much want most of these. Let's just dive in, have a look at what they have announced now. In case you haven't done it, they announce most of their stuff through Facebook, so best following them on there to get the announcements straight away. I'm having to jump onto Amazon just now just to get a little bit of info about these titles, kind of barren on the page just now. So first up, we have the 4K UHD of Hell of the Living Dead, otherwise known as Virus, otherwise known as Zombie Creeping Flesh, directed by Bruno Mattei. Bruno Mattei in 4K. Shouldn't really happen, but they're doing it anyway. Those crazy, crazy fools at 88 Films. I'm super excited to see this because I haven't yet reviewed Zombie Creeping Flesh, which is round about here in the Italian collection. So, you can't beat an Italian zombie movie, and here's one of the best, looking yuckier than ever in this sensational 4K UHD presentation. There's been a nasty outbreak of the living dead in Papua New Guinea, and it's up to intrepid reporter, her cameraman, and on-hand squad of commandos to find out why and to try and stop it. There are disgusting special effects, some unexpected adversaries, plus headshots galore. Truly a film with something for everyone. Directed by exploitation ace Bruno Mattei, 88 Films are proud to present this classic of family entertainment, full-blooded shocker in all its glory. This was Mattei's basic rip-off of Dawn of the Dead. I'm looking forward to seeing it in 4K. Does it need a 4K? I don't care, because I want that in the collection. It looks amazing. A movie that I've never seen as yet is House on the Edge of the Park, directed by Ruggero Deodato, starring the always awesome David Hess, whom I'm assuming played a similar character in The Last House on the Left and was equally horrible in Hitchhike. From notorious director Ruggero Deodato comes House on the Edge of the Park. When two lowlives gate crash a party and are mocked by the posh hosts, they decide to get their revenge by subjecting the guests to various forms of torture and violence. Influenced by the likes of Last House on the Left and being a forerunner to movies like Funny Games, House on the Edge of the Park is a classic video nasty era slice of Italian exploitation cinema. Like I said, I've never seen this one. It looks interesting enough. I'm sure lots of you out there have seen it, so please let me know about this one. Next, we have the one thing that I'm not 100% sold on is the Pete Walker Heritage Collection, Deluxe Collector's Edition. Years before he became revered as the gentleman of British horror, prolific filmmaker Pete Walker started his cinema career making hugely popular sexploitation movies and gangland thrillers. Walker's films didn't shy away from controversial subjects: prostitution, underage sex, pornography, and the criminal underworld, and proved irresistible to audiences on both sides of the Atlantic. X-rated productions like School for Sex, which played solidly in London's West End for over a year, and The Bloodthirsty Man of Violence, a forerunner to Get Carter, display the exceptional early talents of Britain's most celebrated and commercially successful director of his generation. Now, for the very first time, Walker's finest non-horror movies are brought together in this spectacular new box set, starring a host of famous faces: Robin Asquith, Francois Pascal, James Aubrey, David Kernan, and Lune Peter. The Pete Walker Heritage Collection collects For Men Only, School for Sex, The Big Switch, Man of Violence, Cool It Carol, Home Before Midnight, all presented in brand new HD restorations featuring an arresting array of exclusive extras, including brand new interviews with Walker himself. Now, I'm not super familiar with Pete Walker. I definitely don't know any of these movies, so by all means, you knowledgeable film fans out there, let me know all about these. Is this something that I should be sitting up and paying more attention to? Next, we have the Sylvester Stallone and directed by Jim Gillespie, the man who did the wonderful I Know What You Did Last Summer. It's Detox, a title that was much maligned when it came out, one I kind of like. After his girlfriend is killed by a serial killer he's chasing, FBI agent Jake Malloy falls apart. That's why he's sent to a rehab centre in the middle of nowhere, a clinic for cops with problems, burnt out cases, alcoholics, and worse. But Malloy can't escape his demons. Soon after he arrives, people start dying. They seem to be suicides, but Jake isn't so sure. Has his serial killer nemesis followed him into the wilderness? A change of pace for Stallone, Detox is a psychological horror movie with simmering tension, courtesy of I Know What You Did Last Summer director Jim Gillespie. A solid support from Chris Christopherson, Robert Patrick, and Jeffrey Wright. 88 Films are proud to present this underrated thriller on special edition Blu-ray. Not for everyone. I particularly quite like Detox. I can't wait to check it out again. Now on to one of the biggest announcements in this quarter. Ark of the Sun God. And 4K UHD, no less. This Antonio Margheriti directed film is one that I've wanted to see for a while. It's a kind of rip-off of Indiana Jones, but it just looks incredibly fun. Who needs Indiana Jones when you've got Rick Spear? Rick's a master cracksman, the best damn thief in the business, and he's been hired to find the fabled burial chamber of King Gilgamesh and retrieve the valuables within. But he's not the only one on the treasure hunt. Others have their eyes on the loot, and they'll stop at nothing to get it. A late career highlight from Italian genre favourite Antonio Margheriti, with a characteristically charming performance from David Warbeck. As a dashing Rick, Ark of the Sun God tips its fedora at Raiders of the Lost Ark, but adds its own wild invention into the mix. The Tomb Raiders at 88 Films are proud to present the 4K UHD premiere of this fabulous slice of 80s adventure, and I cannot wait to get my hands on this. There is trailers for most of these movies, I think all of them actually, on YouTube. Go and check out the trailer for Ark of the Sun God. It looks amazing fun. Next up, we have God of Gamblers. It's been a long while since I've seen this. And it's, you know what? It's a good indication that John Woo movies are starting to get the sort of boutique treatment. Long overdue. We all know the titles we're waiting on. God of Gamblers will do us just now. Ko Chun is the greatest high roller in the world, king of the casino, and as cool as only his in-prime Chow Yun Fat can be. But that's before a nasty head injury renders him mentally disabled. After being befriended by unscrupulous hustler Knife, it is discovered that despite his other impairments, Ko's unearning instincts for gambling remain intact. Knife thinks he's onto a sure thing, but Ko still has enemies, and they haven't forgotten him. A huge hit in this original release and one of the defining films of Chow Yun Fat's astonishing career, the Card Sharks at 88 Films are proud to roll the dice on a gloriously restored version of this Hong Kong classic. I like this film. It's got a great cast. It's good to see John Woo movies starting to come to these shores. Hopefully, we're going to get all the ones we want. A Better Tomorrow, and in particular, Hard Boiled. But this is a great start. It's a great film. I will definitely be getting this one. Next up, we have Tentacles. It's basically a Jaws ripoff. You know, something's happening at the once quiet coastal town of Salona Beach. Boats are being destroyed and people are going missing. Veteran newsman Ned Turner thinks it's all connected with the construction of an undersea tunnel. Something has been disturbed, something that's out for blood, but no one realizes just how dangerous it is. There are worse things in the sea than sharks, with a cast of Hollywood legends like Henry Fonda, Shelley Winters, Claude Atkins, Bo Hopkins. Tentacles is a classic 70s monster movie, blending ecological ruminations with sudden shocks. 88 Films are proud to present this magnificent maritime monstrosity in this beautiful new Blu-ray edition. It is part of the Italian collection, and soon it will be part of my collection. I particularly like movies that are, like I said, man are the prey for these giant monsters, or just monsters in general. I do love Jaws, in particular Jaws rip-offs. I don't have huge hopes for this one, but I'm looking forward to checking it out nonetheless. And last and definitely not least is The Whip and the Body Deluxe Collector's Edition. Now, this is a Mario Bava movie that I haven't seen. It's a Mario Bava movie starring Christopher Lee. How could I not be excited about this one? Seduction, sadism, and sexual obsession. The Whip and the Body is one of the greatest films of legendary director Mario Bava. The equally legendary Christopher Lee plays Kurt Menliff. He is the black sheep of his family, banished for his wicked, wicked ways, but now he's home and keen to resume his sadomasochistic affair with his brother's wife, Nivanka. So keen, in fact, that not even his untimely death cannot put a stop to this violent lust. A delirious journey into the troubled souls. This is arguably the greatest film Bava ever made, and now it's looking better than ever. Gorgeously restored from a newly discovered film elements, 88 Film is proud to present Bava's masterpiece, finally resplendent in all its gothic splendour. Yeah, that is Mario Bava. It's Christopher Lee. It's part of the Italian collection. I cannot wait to add it to my collection as well. These are phenomenal announcements. You got Zombie Creeping Flesh, House at the Edge of the Park, the Pete Walker collection, Detox, Ark of the Sun God, God of Gamblers, Tentacles, and The Whip in the Body. And I'd say the only one that's probably a doubt for me is the Pete Walker set, because I just don't know enough as yet. The rest of these, I can't wait to get my grubby hands on. I would love to know what you think of these announcements. What jumps out at you? What movies do you want to pick up from this amazing announcements? What do you hope they're going to release in the future, if this is an indication of how 88 Films are starting 2023? They're definitely taking the throne in boutique circles, in my opinion, doing some amazing work. Cannot wait to check out a few of these. As always, there is more content up here. You can see more of my stuff if you are interested. Don't forget to hit the like button, because it helps these kind of videos. And if you look in the description box below, there are links to ManVFilm.com, Patreon, the membership program, all ways in which you can support this channel, and that would greatly help. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time on ManVFilm.